2019 was an exciting year for me. I saw more hospitals and health systems embracing a new approach to living their mission to lift community health. This tool, direct community investment through grants and, to a lesser extent, social impact investments and charitable sponsorships of other nonprofits. I traveled throughout the US to different boardrooms where I heard new commitments to moving outside of the hospital's four walls, to moving upstream to address social determinants of health. For a few organizations, this meant $100 million partnerships to improve affordable housing. But much more commonly, for many hospitals and health systems, this meant developing brand new grant programs on the order of $100,000 or a few times that. Hospitals were starting to bring these grant programs online, develop RFPs, and strengthen their partnerships with other local nonprofits. But just as these programs were starting to take root in many different soils, COVID-19, shutdowns, months-long hold on elective procedures with huge impact on patient health and organizations' bottom lines. At the same time, this meant that more community members than ever before were struggling with essential needs like food, housing, and this meant that nonprofits working in those areas, your allies, saw huge spikes in demand and huge pressure on their own bottom lines. In my new research, I'm exploring how hospitals and health systems have responded to COVID-19. One question in my new survey asks how COVID has changed hospitals' community health investment approaches. Here are some of the answers we've gotten so far. Offering more flexibility to the nonprofit partners they work with, for example, allowing organizations to shift dollars to operations, changing their funding priorities, increasing dollars to food security, for example, or hospitals have changed their own internal structures. One organization created an entirely new department of community health improvement. And what about budget? We might expect that with hospital margins facing unprecedented pressures, there was simply no money for community expenditure. What I've seen so far in survey results tells a different story. Nearly half of current respondents maintained their budgets for grants and community sponsorships. 1/5 actually increased their budgets. The survey covers this and other areas that I'm frequently asked about, including some brass tacks like grant-making cycles, approval processes. For example, which hospital departments are involved, staffing and infrastructure, community health investment program names and goals, and of course, strategic areas such as community health priorities and perceptions. I'm going to be sharing results with participants in early October. Before then, I urge you to join and tell your organization's story. How is your hospital or health system investing to improve community health? The survey takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. All participants will receive a full copy of results and an invitation to a complimentary session. And those of you who have already made your voices heard, thank you for advancing knowledge in our field and for all that you do to lift up your communities.